Back in '96, Atlanta was booming with excitement around hosting the Centennial Olympic Games. And then, a deranged zealot, willing to kill for a cause, lit a fuse that would change my life and so many others forever, rippling out for generations. Listen to Flashpoint on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
For 10 years, I've been obsessed with one of the most bizarre and audacious cons in rock and roll history.
We were all facing 20 years and all that good stuff.
The lead singer tried to pull off an English accent, and they went on the road as the Zombies.
These guys are not going to get away with it. The Zombies are too popular.
Listen to the true story of the fake zombies on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Trap Nerds Podcast.
This is not an episode.
I'm pretty sure this is a promo.
You know what it is. We in this piece.
Trap nerds, real niggas like you never heard.
We giving you reliable gaming news with the best movie and TV reviews from a blurred perspective.
All things inside and out of blurred culture.
Listen to the Trap Nerds Podcast on the Black Effect Podcast Network, iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Episode 430, 4 ways online stores get you to impulse buy.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends Podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to Frugal Friends Podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And today we are talking about 4 specific ways online stores get you to impulse buy, just like I just said.
There's no mystery in the title of this podcast episode. You know what you're going to get. And we've been really loving these types of conversations where we kind of give a sneak peek behind the scenes how companies get you to spend more money so that you can be more prepared and intentional with the way that you spend money. Because we are gonna spend money. Mm-hmm. We just want to make sure that it's our decision and not somebody else's manipulative actions influencing us.
Yes, absolutely.
But first, this episode is brought to you by Buy What You Love Without Going Broke. What is that? This is the title of our book. Don't know we've written a book?
Sorry,
wow.
I'm listening to this in the morning.
Where have you been? Yes. Okay, so that's our book that we've written, and it is officially available for pre-order. Woo! And to celebrate, I mean, we're kind of celebrating now. You can hear it in our voices. But to celebrate real, we're throwing a virtual launch party on August 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which BTW is one day before my birthday. So it's essentially going to be a double party.
I didn't check with Jill before I scheduled that. I is literally finding that out this very second.
I did read it ahead of time. I'm available. It's totally fine. My life belongs to this book now. So we will be revealing all of our pre-order gifts. Yes, there's gifts. There will be games. There will be giveaways. Oh, and gifts as in like with the T, not just gifts that are moving memes. Yeah, sure. They probably will be. But we actually mean like a GIFT. There will be games, giveaways, and Jen has promised to cheers me. If you listen to our recent like post show, our true listeners know. If you know, you know. That was one of my beefs with her, is that she never cheerses me. Wow. We're going to get through this fake real sponsor. Everyone who attends on August 20th at 7 p.m. will get a free gift with a T. Everyone who pre-orders the book before or during the party will get an extra free gift in addition to the pre-order gifts. And we may give out more free stuff. Who knows? Because we're unhinged. We're excited. It's a party. Everyone is welcome. There's no extra sign up required, but you must be signed up for the Friendletter because that's where we'll be sending out the Zoom link. So we'll send it in a couple of emails leading up to August 20th. So if you're not already on the Friendletter, head to frugalfriendspodcast.com, sign up for the Friendletter. You'll get all the details for August 20th and all the gifts that we're giving out.
Gifts with a T.
Gifts, the good kind of gifts.
Yes, I think that's who this episode is really brought to you by, is Gifts with a T. Yeah. So we are so stoked to start this pre-order party. And we're going to do it with you, and we're going to do it live, and we want to see your faces, or you can have your screen camera off. That's fine. But we want you to see our faces. We're so excited to celebrate with you on August 20th. So, all right, let's talk about impulse buying. If this is something that you are really struggling with, first we want to say impulse purchases are not the enemy, because an impulse purchase is really just any unplanned purchase. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you want to. It's your prerogative. But I think what we want to advocate for is not letting manipulation influence our impulse purchases. So that's kind of how we look at it on this show. So we have a lot of episodes on impulse buying and how to overcome it. So we have episode 351, impulse buying, what it is and how to stop. And then episode 378, psychological reasons why we impulse buy. On this one, we're going to talk specifically about the marketing that's behind online retailers. And I think we're mostly shopping online nowadays. So we're not going to cover the in-store stuff, because that's a whole different, you'll find these things in-store as well, but we could do a whole separate episode on like in-store marketing and how that triggers you to make impulse purchases. Today, we're just looking at online retailers. So our headline for today is 4 sneaky ways online retailers trigger you to make impulsive purchase or impulse purchases. And this is from HuffPost.
And we're just going to go through all 4, but it is based off of an analysis of 200 online retailers. That it's a research project that was done by University of Michigan School of Information. And they found that on average, companies use 19 different features to encourage impulse buying. And they were surveying large retailers like Target.com, Amazon.com, plus 30 others. And they found that some of these features included things like discount, low stock messages, countdown clocks, and more. But we're going to go through the top 4 tactics that they found. And the first one is using sales and discounts. We kind of know this. We see them in person, but we can be especially susceptible to sales and discounts online. They say that more than 80% of consumers say they're more likely to purchase something when they have a coupon or there's a discount, according to a 2022 survey by Wildfire Systems. So offering a percentage off of a purchase, or sometimes they'll even use things like free shipping for spending over a certain amount, can help retailers sell items more quickly. So if you see a sale or a discount popping up on the item that you are looking at, it is very possible that even subconsciously you might be more apt to purchase that thing because you see the original price crossed out and then the lower price beneath it. And that feeling of, I'm going to get a deal. I'm going to be smart here. I'm getting something that usually isn't available to other people. There are definitely a lot of psychological pieces at play here, and just wanting to get something less expensive than it normally is can be a reason for us to impulsively buy something that we might not otherwise have bought.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious because while we're scrolling this article on our laptops, literally right next to it is HuffPost shopping best finds. And their articles like Brooks best-selling sneaker and more up to 50% off. This Apple Watch is $100 off on Amazon right now and time is ticking. Like, it's not just the retailers that do it, but it's all of these. Essentially, every website on the internet is run by either advertising dollars. It's a combination of advertising and affiliate. So HuffPost is publishing articles. Yes, very helpful articles like the one we're going through, but also articles like this Apple Watch is $100 off, because if you click their link and buy an Apple Watch through their article, they get a kickback. And so when we're looking at these sales and discounts, and something that it's great websites. So I don't fault the websites, because you have to make money. If you're a creator, you have to pay the bills, right? Like, it's why we thank you for listening to our show and listening to the advertisements on our show, because, or even skipping through them, because that allows us to get paid without asking money from you, except to buy our book, which is less than $30. And that is all we're asking of you. So it allows us to bring this to you for free, because we take money from the corporations. But creators deserve to be paid. And so unfortunately, just a lot of them, they'll do half really good content and then half, this no frills Amazon underwear has an astonishing number of reviews, affiliate content like that. So I don't fault the website. I don't think less of the website because of it, but I do think twice about the product, because that is a way for them to make money. So the next one on the list is last one in stock messages. And this is more of a small retailer thing. I know larger retailers will do this. Is they looked at 200 retailers in this study. Only 30 of them were large. So a lot of smaller shops will, when they get to their last one in stock, the message, sending you an email about it, creates a sense of urgency. Retailers are trying to make you make a quick decision by not comparison shopping. It's also kind of a bandwagon tactic, because if there's only one left in stock, that means everybody else has bought it. And without knowing these people or their experiences, I inherently trust the group or the majority. So that's something that the last one in stock message can do. It works very well for airlines and hotels. If you're wondering, should I take the trip? Should I take the staycation? And there's only one left, then you kind of then you can't wait anymore to make the decision. So it behooves you to make these decisions kind of before you have to make them, right? So that's why we save for vacations in a sinking fund. We plan for them in advance. That way we don't have to question, I know I'm taking this trip, so when I see the sale coming up, I already know this is something I'm going to do. Then I can book the hotel and the airline. I can wait for the sale, but I don't have to be influenced by the sale.
Yeah, it's such a sense of urgency. And I think it is true that we might buy quicker with travel, but usually you're not impulse buying travel. But I do think that this is a message that can pop up with anything that, oh, I just saw this ad on Instagram and now I'm clicking on it. And now it's, oh, if I don't get it now, I'll never get it. Like these are the things that can push us towards that urgency. I'm going to buy it now, because what if I'll never have the opportunity to try this new thing that I just learned about?
Yeah.
So just something to be aware of. Usually it's not true. Usually it's not actually the last one in stock.
And I think this message is the last message in stock too, because it comes after you've seen the advertisement. You think, hey, I think I might want to take a trip to Miami. And so you start looking at things, and then you start getting served the ads for it. And then maybe you will look at the, you're already on Southwest, their emails. So you just search Southwest for a flight, and then, you don't think anything of it. And that's that, after you've had enough time to stop thinking about it, is when you will get the email from Southwest, one seat left.
Still thinking about this trip,
about it, but you haven't been saving for it. If you really wanted to take the trip, you should start saving for it, right? So that's the difference. This will be the last of many attempts from the online retailer.
The next tactic is bundling upselling and cross-selling. So this is also a huge one within the travel industry, like upgrading a seat or buying a premium product for a small percentage. So upselling is another way that retailers will drive impulse spending. So also includes things like cross-selling, where they might offer a related product at a discounted rate, such as a camera bag if you just bought a camera, bundling, where a discount is offered if you buy multiple related offers. I see this all the time. A lot of, especially the budget airlines, are doing this as you're going through even the ticket purchasing process. Before you actually have a finalized sale, many of them will try and get you to book a hotel, book a car rental in the process of getting your ticket. It's wild to me. I am very adept at just like clicking through all of those pages. But if you don't travel a lot, or you're not certain about what your travel arrangements are going to be, this could be a real big trap for purchasing items that you don't actually need. They'll do this with bags, seat assignments. They'll try and sell you getting through the airport super quickly, but also with any other online retailer. This happens all the time on Amazon. Customers who bought this also bought these items. And sometimes you can think, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I'm about to go on this camping trip. And okay, so I bought my little pans and dishes, but am I going to need a Bunsen burner? Like, what else? Am I going to need some fire starters? What else am I going to need? Like, it feels as though, oh, the packing list is almost made for me. I better just buy this. I feel like if there's any tactic that does work on me, it is this one. Like, you're saying if I just add this in, I could get like 2 for the price of 1, or that other example of, I didn't even think about that item. I might need that too. Throw it in the cart because of the discount that I could get. Oh, it's like a 2 for 1, because then I don't have to pay for shipping, because now I've reached that $35 minimum spend. And now I've bought things that I did not intend to buy.
And I just learned that they do make Bunsen burners for camping, because as a science nerd, I said, why would you take that? Why would you take lab equipment? But they do.
I don't know. So you don't have to
make
like
a
carry around
Bunsen burner.
Matches.
Yeah, it's so true. So for any science nerds that don't camp, there you go.
I don't camp either. I don't know. It's just the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. I will say also, I see this in the online marketing space. So I have friends who are, if you're in the online marketing space, you will know this. They are ClickFunnels people. Jill, have you ever like heard of these people? Okay. Well, then that's
because I've been around you.
Okay.
And heard about it.
Okay. These are and you may not know the term off the top of your head, but when I tell you what they do, their model, you'll maybe be like, oh gosh, yes. So like this is specific. So it started with like free book, just pay shipping and handling. Right. So you would see ads. That was the OG. And then you would buy the shipping and handling. They would upsell you to a digital product. And then you would get an email later, putting you through a funnel to sell you on a higher price course, or they might just go at you immediately. I was buying a shirt the other day online, and I had searched out this shirt. The shirt did not advertise to me. I sought out the shirt, and it was from a small, like, Florida company, and it had, I signed up for the emails. They sent me a discount. And so I waited because I was like, they're going to send me a discount. Mm-hmm. So I waited, I got my discount, and then I bought the shirt, and immediately they were like, act now and you will get 10% off this shirt, this specific shirt, which is one of their best-selling shirts. And there was a literal countdown timer. And
whoa.
Yeah, that's like bundling or cross-selling. That's cross-selling. And then I said no. And then they were like, act now and you get 30% off this shirt.
Oh,
one of our best-selling shirts.
You only have so much willpower in you to just keep saying no. Oh, wow.
So these are like kind of upsells and cross sells and
feels
funnels.
predatory hearing you describe it.
Yeah. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's predatory if you know.
Aggressive.
Yeah. I went in there. No, it is aggressive. You're right. So it is aggressive. But a lot of these funnels will upsell you. And we do it ourselves, Jill.
I know.
We forget.
I don't like it. I'm not going to lie. I hate marketing so much.
You don't hate marketing. You're marketing a book, Jillian.
I know.
You love marketing.
I'm having a party August 20th.
When you sign up for the Friendletter, then you get to purchase the values-based budget binder. And that's the only place we sell it. And that truly is the only time you can get it. There's a countdown, and when you leave the page, you truly cannot get it any other time. You don't advertise it anywhere else. So sometimes that's not always true. So there can be authenticity in this, but yeah. So we offered that. That's something, again, it's just, I think, not even $15. Mm-hmm. So it's something that allows us to eat dinner out sometimes. That's our fun.
Have we moved from talking about the tactics retailers use to currently using the tactic right now?
What I'm trying to say is this stuff isn't bad. I don't think this stuff is necessarily predatory. I think you just have to be aware of...
well, it depends on how it's used. The example you used of, okay, you said no to this. What about this? You said no to that. What about this?
Right.
That's aggressive.
If
that
you say
would
no
turn
to
me
our
off
values-based budget binder, that's it. Then you're done.
Yeah.
We're not coming at you with anything else. So, yeah, it's small. It's a lot of small businesses do it. I don't feel as bad. With this very small t-shirt company, I didn't feel bad about it. I think it's just a mom and a daughter. I think that's their t-shirt, right? So I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't buy the extra t-shirts because I didn't want them, but I didn't feel bad about it. But with these ClickFunnels people that are, making True Karma Club and I'll make $1 million, buy my stuff and buy more stuff and no more stuff. Then I really don't feel bad saying no. Actually, don't sign up for those things anymore because it's so stinky. It just virtually smells stinky.
Are you saving for a down payment, a wedding, a dream vacation, starting a family? We love how the Monarch Money app helps you hold the tension between your goals and the realities of your monthly expenses to adapt your plan as life happens.
Monarch is the top-rated all-in-one personal finance app. You get a comprehensive view of all your accounts, investments, transactions, and more. Create custom budgets, track progress toward financial goals, and collaborate with your partner.
Plus, Monarch automates smart money moves to get you closer to your goals. And now get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/frugal. No more wrangling bank statements or navigating unruly spreadsheets. Just log into Monarch and see it all in minutes.
After trying out Monarch for myself, I understand why it's the top-rated personal finance app. And right now, listeners of this show will get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/frugal. That's monarchmoney.com/frugal for your extended 30-day free trial.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So, buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
It started with a backpack at the 1996 Centennial Olympic Games. A backpack that contained a bomb. While the authorities focused on the wrong suspect, a serial bomber planned his next attacks. 2 abortion clinics and a lesbian bar. This isn't his story. It's a human story. One that I've become entangled with.
I saw, as soon as I turned the corner, basically someone bleeding out.
The victims of these brutal attacks were left to pick up the pieces, forced to explore the gray areas between right and wrong, life and death. Their once ordinary lives, and mine, changed forever.
It kind of gave me a feeling of pending doom.
And all the while, our country found itself facing down a long and ugly reckoning with a growing threat. Far-right, homegrown, religious terrorism. Listen to Flashpoint on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, so the last one on here is something I've talked about quite a bit, cart reminder messages. So when you put something in your cart and you have an account there, they're going to email you and remind you there's something in your cart. I got that email yesterday. We have to buy some finishings for our cabinets. I put the thing in my cart and I'm waiting for some points to go through so that I can get $50 off. And I got an email this morning, your cart misses you. That's literally what it said. Your cart misses you. So when we're doing the wait 30 days, typically people say, put it in your cart and wait 30 days. I don't like that because you get these cart reminder messages. Make a wish list. Put it in a note, a digital note. I know a lot of people love Notion for making picture notes. Just do something like that. And you can make a new one every month or every 30 days or what have you. I would rather you do that because Amazon doesn't necessarily send you list reminder. At least I haven't gotten them. Maybe they've just hidden them from me, but your wish list, they don't typically send you reminders on. For some reason, Honey, if you're on Join Honey, they will send you reminders hey, something on your list just dropped in price, which I don't hate as much, but honestly, I'm getting kind of tired of it because of all of the predatory sales stuff that is going on, just retailers lowering prices by a penny and then raising it by 2 and lowering it by a penny. And just, this is the real stuff that is happening on Amazon. So they know you'll get these reminders that the price was lowered, but really it was increased. It increased. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would say Honey is kind of dead to me. I don't find that it helps ever in getting coupon codes anymore. And it just sends those drop lists. Even if you didn't drop list it, if you just save something, it's going to send you email reminders on because they get an affiliate commission if you buy through that email. So I would say wish list. Best case scenario is you're doing something like Notion, which is free. You're putting it in there August wish list. Wait until September and whatever you want, then you can still get. And then whatever you didn't get, tally that up and put that towards a vacation fund or something. That'd be fun.
There you go. Yeah. Or any other financial goal that you have.
For sure.
I would say that this is a reason to not sign up for text message reminders. All these sites really do try and push that. But if it's just reminders, even that happen to your email and you've got something like Unroll Me, then that's helpful too. Just kind of ways to put barriers in between. And we'll get there on talking about more strategies. But again, it's helpful to know these top 4 tactics so that when you see it happening, you can be more aware and vigilant and guarded where you need to be. Still spend. We absolutely are all going to spend our money on things that we need and we want. But we can be a little bit more equipped to know, they're trying to get me to spend. Do I really want to do this? But I think it's worth having this conversation that they also have in this article of why the strategies work. And I love this quote here from one of the people that they interviewed for this article where they describe shopping is a complex activity and the decision-making process by consumers is not straightforward and linear. Many factors play into a decision to purchase or not. And I so appreciate this take and perspective because I think it helps normalize the spending process for us. We can feel very down on ourselves, disappointed, frustrated, guilty, shameful about the way that we spend money and our shopping habits and behaviors. But I think this quote really helps to put it into perspective that this isn't just I need this, get that, get the best possible price on it at the best possible time. Like, we are emotional creatures, and there's a lot of factors at play in our lives, and a lot happens in the timeline before, during, and after spending. And so emotions do drive shopping decisions. That's not necessarily like bad or good. It is. I think that we can equip ourselves as a result of that. And so being able to understand that my emotions played into this decision can help us know how do we want to prepare ourselves when we're going into these shopping decisions.
Yeah, I think if it was as simple as stop spending money on stuff you don't need, or stop spending money outside of what you've planned for, I don't think anybody would be listening to this episode. But anytime we put impulse buying, impulse purchase, impulse spending in the title of a podcast episode, it instantly becomes the top downloaded episode of the month. Like, I kid you not. Just having the word impulse in the title will make this like a top download. And so obviously saying don't do it isn't enough. Spending is such a complex subject. Spending decisions are nuanced. So it's why we were able to write an entire book on it. Yes. So it's not just a chapter in a personal finance book that is overshadowed by its flashier cousins earning and investing, right? These are nuanced decisions that deserve real, like, introspective work on our emotions, on our time, on all of our spending triggers.
Yeah.
And so impulse purchases, or the tactics that companies use to drive impulse purchases, they thrive because they are using that sense of urgency. They don't want you to take those steps to learn the nuances about what's going on right now. What's the time? What are my feelings? You know, what just happened to me? They don't want you to take the time to think about all of those things. They just want you to act quickly. And that drives such a significant percentage of their profits that's why they do it.
Yeah, the discounts, the cart reminders, they all tap into the fear of missing out or scarcity mindset, or even these feelings of accessing something exclusive. They also talk about this concept of social proof. It's the idea of wanting something because others have it. So all of these things are going to play into why we even want something to begin with. Like, our desire will fuel our spending and purchasing decisions. So a lot of it kind of happens before we've actually bought, but these things especially play into why we might impulsively make that decision. We've not really thought about it before. We're just in the moment and we do it because of the discounts, the cart reminders, the countdowns, the you're going to be special and part of this cool club because you have this thing or because you got the deal. And again, this isn't going to solve for all of our potential impulse buying. But one of the things that we believe is really helpful is knowing what are these tactics, having these constantly in the back of our heads to help inform our spending decisions. Wherever we can help create that pause, that awareness of self, what we are doing, how we're making decisions can give us that little bit of extra edge that we need to make decisions that are in our best interest and our values aligned spending decisions.
So let's wrap this conversation up with how to avoid falling into these pitfalls. And so these are just some encouraging things. Even the article says retailers are not trying to rip us off necessarily. They're just trying to get us to buy more so they make more money. You know, who's going to fault somebody for wanting more money, right? I want more money. So let me take care of me in that instance and not take care of somebody else. So the expert, and I'm going to push back on some of these. I'm going to push back on the first one. Unsubscribe from emails or texts from brands and retailers. So I definitely say you don't need to be getting texts from brands and retailers. I would say the only texts that I need are from the Mouse dining plan saying that there's a character dining spot opened up for the day and time I want it.
She's talking about Disney for all you non-Disney people.
So, which I need a text reminder because I'm only getting email reminders and I miss it every time. But I don't need text reminders on sales for things.
Yeah.
What I do need emails on are like retailers. So specifically, I was thinking, what was it? Okay. So I was looking to get a hotel. And I ended up going with points for Hyatt because that's where I always stay. But IHG was having an 80%, like you could move your Chase points over to IHG with an 80% bonus.
Oh, nice.
Which looks good on the surface, but is actually not.
Their point conversion isn't great. I got trapped with that before.
So there was a sale going on though where you could buy IHG points for like 5 cents a point or something, but you had to be, it was a customized offer and you had to be on their mailing list or you wouldn't see it. So I don't want to be getting IHG emails all the time, but, and I don't stay there, so I was not on their mailing list, but I was like, dang, I wish maybe if I'd been on their email list, then right now when I need it, I could go in there and see what my special offer would be and see if I could, get a deal on the points and see if that would have been better than using points at Hyatt.
Yeah.
I did not end up doing that, but that was an instance where I was like, some of these retailers, I do want to stay on their list just for something like this, but I don't want to see it every day. And that's why we use Unroll Me. I wish we were stakeholders in that company. Unroll.me. And so that rolls up all of these subscription emails into one email that you can either choose, and they send it to you once a day. You can choose whether you want to get it morning, afternoon, or evening. You check it once a day or you don't check it. Like for me, if I had an IHG newsletter, it would have just gone into Enroll Me. I'd never see it. But then when I wanted it, I could have gone into my email and just searched it and it would have popped right up. I don't even have to go search Unroll Me to find it.
Hot take on this that is just coming to my mind at this very moment. You're hearing it first. You're hearing it here first, folks. If one of the ways that we want to be spending better is locally or small business, then that could be a reason to be signed up for some of these emails so that then you are more likely to buy with the places who are saying, here's the deal and discount that we're offering. So almost using it in your favor as an encourager to be aware of what's going on in your community and locally. For instance, Eric is a part of a mailing list for a local comedy club. We love that. It's one of the things that we enjoy doing locally. And we have gotten so many amazing deals because he's on their mailing list. Like last Friday, we were out, we were having dinner and he happened to see this email. I don't know how he lives his life. I guess he was checking his emails and somebody had purchased 10 tickets to the comedy show. So it would be free for the first 10 people who claim a ticket. So he happened to see it fast enough, claim 2 tickets for both of us. And we were able to scooter downtown and go see a comedy show for free because we were part of a local entertainment group's email list.
Your life is fascinating to me. Your life is fascinating.
I don't know. It's mostly pretty boring, but it did make me realize I also would push back on these unsubscribe from emails. I mean, if you're realizing I'm purchasing things that I definitely don't need, but we could also use it in our benefit to spend the way we want to be spending.
Yes. Okay. So that's a lot on the first one. We won't go in depth.
No, I don't even care for the rest of them, honestly. Here's one. Plan your shopping sessions to look for specific items only. If this were as easy as it sounds, then we wouldn't be having issues with impulse buying. However, I will say there's something here. I think part of this has to do with the way that we interrupt our patterns and behaviors. So if you're seeing, we're talking specifically about online spending, right? So if you're seeing online spending is where I impulse shop, spend the most, then it probably is worthwhile to consider what are some of the barriers I can set up for myself. So if you're already on your phone, let's say it happens on your phone, you're scrolling Instagram, you see an ad for something that looks really great. One of the things that I might do is put that on my shopping list. Like I just keep a Google Notes of the thing that I'm looking for or the thing that kind of stood out to me. And that for me, I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody. We try on things. That kind of helps solve for, I've seen it, I've acknowledged I want it, it is somewhere listed now. Now I can take my time in figuring out, is this actually something I'm going to want? Now that it's front of mind, it allows me time to look at other options. Am I sure that if I want a new bathing suit, that this is the one I actually want? Should I shop around? Am I sure that I actually need a new bathing suit? So for me, this isn't like, oh, this happened overnight for me. This is built over time, but it is something I've found works for me. I can still engage with the thing that sparked my interest that I want and I desire to spend money on, but it doesn't mean I have to jump to spending, but I can still put action to that desire, like writing it down, like researching more, like giving it time and maybe doing something else with my energy.
Yeah, I agree. And set a well-defined budget so you don't overspend.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Wow. So
I would say well-defined in what you value. So when you are doing your 90-day transaction inventory and you're doing your no spend challenge, and you know these are the things that I really value spending on, these are the things I don't so much, or maybe I do value this, but I've been spending on it a lot lately and I would like to take pause from it for, a quarter or something. That's well defined for me. Not like I can only spend this much on coffee and I can only spend this much on eating out and yada, yada, yada. That's restrictive. Like giving myself a defined, and what if I go like $2 over? What then? Like those restrictions are bad. They lead to unhealthy patterns with spending. So well-defined values, I would say. And then you're going to be more easily, you're not going to overspend as easily. And you're not going to feel as restrictive and need such a restrictive budget. And then the last two, I actually do. I mean, yeah, those are just tried and true.
Compare prices to make sure you're getting the best deal. Yeah. And that's one of those action pieces that you can put to creating more time and space before the impulse purchase. If you're spending time researching and comparing prices, then it's becoming less impulsive and more intentional and thought through. And then the last one, wait 24 hours before completing a purchase. So
that's a habit thing. Like,
yeah.
I always, I'm just leaving things in a cart or a wish list, and then I never like instantly go cart to checkout. It's always sitting there for at least a couple days.
Yeah. And I think if you need to do something with that energy, then figure out what works for you. Whether it's then you're just going to move to play a game on your phone, or you actually need to stand up and do some sort of activity. Mm-hmm. There is a real kind of need that's happening when we impulse spend. So I think identifying what that need is, what action you need to put to the need, can help it not feel so deprivation. Mm-hmm. And you know what else lacks restriction and deprivation just through and through?
It's a well-defined value for me, I think.
The bill of the week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
Hi, ladies. Congratulations on your 600th episode. It was a funny one with the guys. Anyhow, I wanted to share what my bill of the week was, and it is our outdoor patio. When we initially had spoken with the gentleman, he quoted us one figure, And after about a week or so of my husband and I mulling it over, we decided that that was the direction we wanted to go. So I called the guy back, and when he came back with us to sign the contract and everything, he had a totally different amount. I questioned it, and he was a little bit flustered trying to figure out how he even came up with that number, but he honored it. Although it was only a couple $100 difference, when you're spending several thousands and you want to do it within a budget, you want to make sure everything is down to the T. So thank you for all that you guys do. You really have helped me a lot through my seasons in my financial journey. Thank you.
Wow, 600. I mean, this was one to save for
the 600th episode.
Yeah. She means the 400th episode that was all the way back in April.
But listen, I'll take it. If you believe we've come to a point of 600 episodes, I feel honored. But also, thanks for sharing your bill about your outdoor patio and getting that done. I hope it looks beautiful. And well done, sticking to an agreed upon amount. I think so many times we can get kind of, I don't want to use the word swindled. It's the only word that's coming to mind. I don't know, just kind of pushed into a position where we have to pay a certain amount just because we're afraid of offending someone or hurting someone's feelings, when really we're just trying to come to clarity of, this is what was said. Why is it different now? And if he had had some reason for why that was the case, maybe there would have been another renegotiation and look at the price. But it sounds like he was willing to honor what he originally said, which is fantastic. I'm so glad that you found a contractor who is reasonable like that. They can be hard to come by. So stick with them if you find them. So thanks for sharing your bill. We appreciate that. And thanks for celebrating our 400th episode with us. We hope you're still here for the 600th episode. If you all listening have a bill that you want to submit, if it has to do with clarity on a bill, sticking to a bill, being Bill, frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. Leave us your bill.
It started with a backpack at the 1996 Centennial Olympic Games. A backpack that contained a bomb. While the authorities focused on the wrong suspect, a serial bomber planned his next attacks. 2 abortion clinics and a lesbian bar. But this isn't his story. It's a human story. One that I've become entangled with.
I saw, as soon as I turned the corner, basically someone bleeding out.
The victims of these brutal attacks were left to pick up the pieces, forced to explore the gray areas between right and wrong, life and death. Their once ordinary lives, and mine, changed forever.
It kind of gave me a feeling of pending doom.
And all the while, our country found itself facing down a long and ugly reckoning with a growing threat. Far-right, homegrown, religious terrorism. Listen to Flashpoint on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Trap Nerds Podcast.
This is not an episode, it's a promo.
You know what it is. Promo time. We in this piece.
Trap nerds. Real niggas like you never heard.
Join the Trap Nerds podcast every Monday and listen to us discuss all things inside and out of blurred culture.
So what if Quentin Tarantino squashes his beef with Marvel and be like,
just see how many foot shots of road we'll see I'll be down with. Make you know gonna be extra racist. With the best movie and TV reviews from a blurred perspective.
I think if Bo DeMille hadn't got fired, Kevin Feige would be in trouble right now.
Preach.
We giving you reliable gaming news and real genuine game reviews.
I'll stand for Lightning.
Why does she have 3 games?
Because she a bad
I hate you so much right now.
Listen to the Trap Nerds Podcast on the Black Effect Podcast Network, iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Criminalia. I'm Maria Tremerky.
And I'm Holly Fry. Together, we invite you into the dark corridors of history and true crime.
For each season, we explore a new theme, from poisoners to stalkers, art thieves to snake oil salesmen. We uncover the secrets of history's most interesting figures, such as Walter Minks, the man who built his own submarine hoping to escape with his blackmail payout under Lake Michigan. It sounds made up, but it's 100% true.
We'll explore the crimes as well as societal forces at play, from unfair sentencing to jaw-dissolving health risks. And tune in at the end of each episode as we indulge in cocktails and mocktails inspired by each story.
Listen to Criminalia on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And now it's time for the lightning round.
All right. So our question today, what's the last item you purchased online on impulse and do you regret it? So I had to go back into my Amazon orders. I don't do a lot of unplanned online shopping. Because like it's just become a habit. Like if I want something, I will put it on the list. If I really want it, I put it in the cart. And I just like wait and I leave it there for a time. I also don't have Amazon Prime, so I don't like I have to wait if it's under 35, so that helps me. But I would say it wasn't super impulsive, but I bought all the stuff for the Olympics party.
Oh, yes.
Which hasn't happened yet as of this recording. So TBD if it was worth
you're
it,
gonna
but
regret
I feel good about it right now.
What's the most random thing in that order for the Olympics party?
25 bouncy balls for kids. Extra large bouncy balls.
And remind all of our listeners why you're getting 25 bouncy balls.
Because I have organized a child's modern pentathlon with 5 sports. One of those sports is shot put, and that's what the bouncy balls are for. And the children will compete to become champion of the children. And we will see who the strongest child is.
I hope you have medals, right? Medals are there too.
Medals are there, right there. They are right there.
Perfect. I'm going to bring my Sharpie and write champion of the children on all of them.
Deal. Okay. They are at my house now. They have already been delivered.
That's so exciting. I can't wait. Will you post any pictures on Instagram?
Probably.
Of the party? Okay. There's a reason to follow Frugal Friends and Modern Frugality.
Yeah, probably not pictures of other people's children, but maybe the backs of their heads.
Okay. Okay. So for me, I am not an online shopper. And I hope that doesn't make me unrelatable. Surely there's a listener here who also doesn't online shop. So my impulse decisions are much more likely to happen in person. But here you go. I do have an example for you. I did this week buy floaties online, pool floats. Now I can't say
what kind of floaties.
Not like for your arms, like a
pool float.
Pool float.
Oh, okay, like inner tubes.
The kind, I think they call them pool hammocks.
Oh,
so you don't have to blow up a ton.
Yes,
we used to have circular floats, but we would never, and we got them for free. And then they were starting to deteriorate and we never took them because we didn't have a pump. And so you're just sitting there on the beach about to pass out, trying to get this big old ring full of air. But then they make these hammocks that you just have to blow up the top and bottom super quick and easy and super packable because 4th of July is coming up at the time that we record this episode, and you need pool floats for that. We've been going to the beach and hanging out at sandbars, and we want pool floats for that too. And so this has been on my mind. And then we got a gift card recently, a $20 Amazon gift card. So it covered it. So I can't say I regret it.
No, those are great. I actually have some of those and will be bringing them to the 4th of July.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And maybe this is a thing where Jen and I are both saying like, yes, we have impulse bought in our lives. Sometimes it still happens, but I guess there's a message of hope here that like, it's not a huge part of my spending behavior at this point in life. Like some of the things that we have talked about can and do work. And I think a lot of it has to do with identifying your impulse spending kryptonite. Like for me, it's not online, but I can understand what would lead to impulsive spending. So I can talk to that. But I think figuring out, yes, it's because of Instagram. It's because of Amazon. It's because of my email list. It's because of when I'm in person. It's because when I'm celebrating. Like we each have to identify when are we most susceptible to purchases that we didn't necessarily want to make, and then building out patterns and habits and routines around that. And I think, at least for me, like I've come to a point where that is working. I'm not perfect, but I can make spending decisions that I feel good about, especially on gift cards where it's really not even a spending decision.
So true. So true.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh, well, we hope that this has helped you with some of your online impulse spending decisions. I mean, I'm an online shopper. I do most of my shopping online. So I know that it is something that I have to actively think about and get over these specific things. And so I hope it helped you in some way. And we would love, if it did help you, if you could leave a review similar to this one. This Jamarama Ding Dong understood the assignment, and I know you will too. Jamarama says this: ridiculous, just what I need. I've been diving into lots of personal finance podcasts the past couple of years and have been on a journey. This show has become one of my favorite listens. Do they know what they're doing? No. But do any of us really? Are they unhinged? Yes. But aren't we all? The host's inclusive perspectives make me feel less alone. I've gotten tons of practical ideas. The show is so much fun, and I look forward to listening every time. Thank you, Jamarama Ding Dong.
That's amazing. Do we know what we're doing? No. Are we unhinged?
Yes.
And you understood the assignment in giving the people a heads up on what to expect from this show. So if they're not into that, then they won't listen and they won't leave us a 1 star. But if they are into that, they're going to listen and they're going to leave us 5 stars. Like all of you who made it this far in the episode, thank you for listening. And if you did enjoy the fact that we don't know what we're doing and we're slightly unhinged, please do take a minute to leave a rating and review. It helps us. It helps us helps others. I can talk.
One day you'll be able to.
Yeah.
One day.
Okay, bye.
Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Sirianni.
Okay, Jen.
Yes.
When I was in high school, I worked at this water ice place. Do you know what water ice is?
I know what Rita's is.
Okay.
We have them here.
Yes, on the East Coast. I don't think Rita's. So there's a water ice place called Rita's. I think originally they only were in the Northeast. They've expanded since. It's great.
There's also Jeremiah's, which is similar.
Okay, I've not heard of that one. Yeah. And my boss was, I don't even know how to describe him. I'm not even going to try. But he was the, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean kind. And you absolutely had to upsell every single thing. And I hated it. I don't want to force, coerce, manipulate anybody into anything. But it was a requirement. And especially on the days that the boss was there standing behind your shoulders, you had to do the upsell. Oh, it went against every fiber of my being. What's an upsell? Oh, I'll tell you. Oh, I'll tell you. Do you want a swirl of custard on top? Do you want to add a soft pretzel to that? That's about it. Oh, do you want a fountain soda?
Why would you want a fountain soda with a water ice?
I don't even think we had fountain sodas. Never mind. That wasn't.
Do you want a fountain soda?
A lemonade.
Go get one.
There you go. I think lemonade, soft pretzel, extra thing, sprinkles, an extra little dollop of custard.
Did it already have custard in it?
It depends on what you wanted.
Okay.
You could do a custard ice combo.
That's
you could
the
just do
best.
ice. You could just do, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I
What,
love
you
the
shouldn't
water
do it
ice
without
custard
the
combo.
combo.
Absolutely. Did anyone ever take me up on my upsell? Nope. But there was one time that someone
like marketing.
that someone called it out. He was like, "Oh, wow. Very nice upsell." I don't know why it has turned into a core memory for me. He didn't purchase the thing I was trying to get him to buy, but he did acknowledge it, and I think I felt a little bit like caught. Like, oh, this is supposed to just be a natural question. And the fact that they knew what I was doing, that they called it an upsell, it felt very uncomfortable for me. I did not like it.
Yeah, you felt like you were doing something in secret, but really.
Yeah, like trying to manipulate them to do something without them really knowing it, but still giving me more of their money. I don't like it. I still don't like it. Like if you wanted a pretzel, you would have ordered a pretzel. And here I am trying to get you to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank God you worked at Rita's, because I worked at the Gap and we were required to upsell everyone to a credit card.
I hate those questions.
That was very rough. And your performance and your shifts were all based on how many credit cards you could sell. Nobody cared how much merchandise you sold or upsold. Like,
dang it.
Nobody cared about the merchandise. It was all about the credit cards.
And now there's even stores where they will ding a bell when someone signs up for the credit card. I think like Marshalls or TJ Maxx has started to do that. It's just like you're shopping and all throughout the store, they're just like, woo, someone just signed up for
don't
TJ Maxx rewards.
Don't. Don't.
Do not. Those are not the good kinds of credit cards.
Get the upsell at Rita's. Do not get the upsell at Gap and Marshalls.
Back in '96, Atlanta was booming with excitement around hosting the Centennial Olympic Games. And then, a deranged zealot, willing to kill for a cause, lit a fuse that would change my life and so many others forever, rippling out for generations. Listen to Flashpoint on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
For 10 years, I've been obsessed with one of the most bizarre and audacious cons in rock and roll history.
We were all facing 20 years and all that good stuff.
The lead singer tried to pull off an English accent, and they went on the road as the Zombies.
These guys are not going to get away with it. The Zombies are too popular.
Listen to the true story of the fake zombies on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Trap Nerds Podcast.
This is not an episode.
I'm pretty sure this is a promo.
You know what it is. We in this piece.
Trap nerds, real niggas like you never heard. We giving you reliable gaming news
with the best movie and TV reviews from a blurred perspective.
All things inside and out of blurred culture.
Listen to the Trap Nerds Podcast on the Black Effect Podcast Network, iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.